This is like, my life's on the line. I need to teach you how to compress the ball in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Hanger on my left wrist flat, right wrist bent back. Press the hanger against your arm like you're literally gonna try and break it as hard as you can. Feel like your arm is forward, left arm's forward, right wrist is bent back into your follow through. And start to hit shots like this, okay? First things first. So little half ones, feeling it on there, and then press that thing. Your knuckles feel like they're down towards the ground. The logo's down towards the ground. The right wrist is very bent, very long. Over exaggerated because you throw too much too early. A little half one first. Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about the hanger training aid. I absolutely love this. I firmly believe that this is good for every single golfer. This hanger here creates and controls what I think is the most important part of the swing, which is the wrist angle. It snaps right on. It takes me probably 30 seconds to put on. I can put it right in my golf bag, and best of all is you can hit balls with it. You can actually hit balls with it. So I love this hanger training aids. Look at when I do that well, how that sits on my forearm. Now watch when I cut my wrist, how that comes off. Immediate feedback for where my wrist angle's at. No one that can have too flat of a left wrist. One of the few things that all good ball strikers have, we're trying to have. Flat left wrist, right? Super easy to use, incredible immediate feedback. With the coupon code GogornoGolf.com, it's only $59. You're gonna absolutely love it. We'll put all the details down in the description down below. All right guys, we're gonna talk today about how to hit your iron solid, what is compression, and how do you get that in your iron swing. If you haven't heard already, we are doing our 14-day free trial to CogornoGolf.com. Bit of a master special, gonna run until April 10th. So Master Sunday is the last day. If you want to take advantage of that, send me in your swings. I will personally analyze your swing for you, tell you exactly where you need to focus, what you need to be doing. I want to be able to help you beyond these videos, and this is a risk-free way to do it. So I hope you take advantage. Go to CogornoGolf.com, send in your videos, free 14-day trial. So compressing your irons, right? We're gonna put a little picture on the screen here of Adam Scott. I like to use Adam just as a model here. And I want you to first understand what is compression, how do we hit these irons solid, and what do we need to do for you to be able to go out and play and do this repeatedly. So the first thing is understanding impact. If you look at Adam Scott and a lot of good iron players at setup, you'll notice that their hands are just inside their lead thigh typically. Okay, the left arm's angled in some and the hands are inside the thigh. So typically at setup, there's just a touch of forward shaft lean. Okay, I've got an 8-iron here, just a touch of forward shaft lean. Now, if we look at the other side of the picture at impact, we'll note that the hands are now more forward at impact than they were at setup. Typically, they'll go from just inside the lead thigh to over the left leg. Okay, there's also some other differences. The weight is more forward, the hips are more turned, the shoulders are more tilted. But if we just look at the golf club itself and the lead arm and hand location, the arm's back, handle back a touch, and then you notice the arm's forward and the hands are forward. Every good ball striker I've seen who compresses their irons does that movement. Now the question is, how do we do it? But first I really want you to understand what compression is. And for this example, I'm just gonna bring in two clubs here. So I've got a sand wedge and I've got a 7-iron, okay? Now my sand wedge has 56 degrees of loft on it, and my 7-iron here probably has like in the low 30s, right? Let's call it like 34, 33, 34. So if I look at these two clubs, they preset a different amount of loft, okay, loft. Compression really comes from having the golf ball and the ball speed come off the club and increase the ball speed relative to your swing speed. For example, let's say that I swing my iron 90 miles an hour, player A swings at 90 miles an hour, player B also swings at 90 miles an hour. Now, player A, the ball speed comes off much hotter than player B. Same swing speed, but the ball comes off the club a lot faster, right? A lot hotter. The speed is higher. That's what compression is. It's when you hit that shot where you hit the middle of the club face and the ball just pops off. So how do we get that speed up, right? Smash factor is what we're looking for. How do we increase that? Well, a lot of that is just due to these two clubs here. So if I made the same swing with a sand wedge, let's say I made a little half swing. Okay, I took a sand wedge, 56 degrees aloft, I swing hip high, and that ball goes 50 yards, we'll say. Now, if I take a 7-iron and I do the same swing from hip high, how far do you think this is gonna go? Farther or shorter than the sand wedge? Okay, farther, right? So that ball hip high probably went, I don't know, 120 yards or so. Now, I probably swung those about the same speed, yet one went almost 2 to 3 times as far. Why is that? It's because there's a lot less loft, right? That's the whole point there. There's a lot less loft. So how do you compress your irons? How do we make sense of that? You want to be able to take your 8-iron, right? Let's say you're using your 8-iron here, and you want to be able to lower the loft. So my 8-iron, I think, is like 36 to 37 degrees in terms of the static loft. If I just looked at this measurement, it's like 36, 37 degrees. Now, when I hit on TrackMan, my dynamic loft, which is the loft I present at impact when I move my handle forward, is like 24 degrees. So I start at 36, I move to 24. That means I de-loft the club 12 degrees. The same way my 7-iron goes farther than my sand wedge because it has lower loft would make my normal 8-iron go farther because I take the loft off. Well then, hey, why do we want to take the loft off? Why don't you just take more club? Because at some point in time, right, you can't just keep taking this more club. Meaning, let's say you hit your 8-iron 145 yards and I hit mine 165, and a player on tour hits it 185. Would you rather hit it 145 or 185? Certainly we'd rather have 185, right? We'd take less club in, you hit the ball closer to the hole, it's easier to hit, and then all your other freaking clubs go longer too, right? We all want to hit the ball farther. So I say all this to explain, and hopefully that it makes sense, that to hit the ball farther relative to your speed and really compress it, we have to take the loft you have and lower it. We have to get the handle forward. Now, how are we going to do that? What's my favorite freaking compression drill? It's this one here. Now, I've trained this in for a long time. If you watch our older videos, you'll see that I used to train with a plastic hanger, and you can still use this. Okay, we'll put a video at the end that'll talk more about this setup. You can use a hanger, this plastic hanger for these drills. I'm gonna use the actual hanger training aid because this one's a lot more effective. So I'm gonna set this up and then I'll show you how this drill works in just a second. Okay, so we got the hanger on here. Now, I'm gonna show you with this, just because it gives me better feedback, how this compression drill works and how we lower the loft by having the handle forward. So I like to set up the hanger where it's just inside my trail forearm. So from face on, I've got it angled. This is 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock. So it's just inside my lead forearm here. Now what I like to do is when I'm practicing compression like this, you get the hanger touching my lead forearm by about halfway back. That gives me a flat left wrist. This hanger is on my wrist. Now here's really where the feels come in, especially if I get down to hip high and I've got the hanger on. I really want to feel like I'm pressing the hanger against my wrist into impact. I'm getting my left arm to work forward like that Adam Scott picture. My left arm isn't back like it was at setup. My left arm is forward. The hanger is on my hand. Notice my wrist angles. My left wrist or my lead wrist is feeling like it's staying bowed longer. That gives me the lower dynamic loft, the shaft lean. My right wrist feels like it's staying bent longer. Now the opposite of this, if I was gonna have, let's say, no shaft lean at all and not compress it, would look like this. Okay, now my left arm's back, my left wrist is cupped, my right wrist is flat. Here's my 8-iron at setup, right? This is my like 36 degrees of loft. I'm having my hand a little forward, but let's just say this is my static loft. If I present that same thing at impact, I'm gonna do what? Not compress the ball, have contact issues, hit the ball higher and shorter. For me to get to a good impact position, notice the change. My left arm is more forward. My left wrist is more bent or bowed or flat. My right wrist is more bent. So even if you go from here, get to impact, press that hanger up, right? Press that against my lead arm. Get your lead arm forward. Left wrist flat, right wrist bent back. I see so many golfers who come in who don't compress their irons look like this at impact. So just to get to normal, what I'm telling you like I've done 20,000 plus lessons. We had like 6,000 people through Cogorno Golf at this point. You have got to over-exaggerate. Every one of those thousands of lessons, the faster you over-exaggerate, the faster you're gonna fix it and change it. So throw this hanger on or the plastic hanger, have it press against your arm here, and then press that freaking thing as hard as you can against your left wrist. Your left wrist feeling bowed, right wrist bent back, left arm's forward, and take that all the way into your finish position. But aren't you supposed to release or throw it? Of course you are, but it has to be way later. If you're not compressing your iron shots, it's not because you're holding it too long for like 99.9% of you, it's because you're throwing too early. So you shouldn't even worry about, hey, what if I don't throw it? Good, don't throw it right in the beginning. Get this thing on your left forearm, right wrist bent back, exaggerate it, and you should be hitting these punch shots. Like you take your normal height of the shot and literally cut that down in half. So what I like to do here, let's calm down, is have the club about here, okay, parallel to the ground. I would put the hanger on here. This is like, my life's on the line. I need to teach you how to compress the ball in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Hanger on my left wrist flat, right wrist bent back. Press the hanger against your arm like you're literally gonna try and break it as hard as you can. Feel like your arm is forward, left arm's forward, right wrist is bent back into your follow through. And start to hit shots like this, okay? First things first. So little half ones, feeling it on there, and then press that thing. Your knuckles feel like they're down towards the ground. The logo's down towards the ground. The right wrist is very bent, very long. Over exaggerated because you throw too much too early. A little half one first. And what you're gonna notice, like that ball flight when I do it, it should be lower than normal. If anything, it's gonna wanna draw a little bit more than normal, but you should be hitting the ball solid. The ball speed should come up, right? I gave that whole spiel in the beginning to explain that on purpose. The ball should be coming off the face hotter, okay? As I'm having my left arm forward and feeling these wrist angles to get the handle forward, I'm doing all the body motions. I'm getting my weight forward, I'm still turning and tilting, but I'm focused mainly on this piece here to start with. So get it on and then press it against. So the left arm comes off the body, the hands are more forward. And listen, you might have some body issues you have to correct with this, okay? Not all of us watching have perfect rotation and turns and tilts, and that's a part of it. But I've seen players with good body motions who don't get the handle forward enough still, right? So it's not just all body, no arms and hands. I would train your arms and hands here first. We'll do one more. Press it against, left wrist flattening, pressing into it. Right wrist bent. My weight's moving forward and I'm turning still, of course. Okay, a little half one. Left wrist bent, left wrist flat or bowed rather, right wrist bent back. Yeah, that's about as compressed as I can do it. When I really do it well, like if I'm hitting on TrackMan inside, my normal 8-iron goes like 165 with a full swing, full speed. I can do these drills and only go like shoulder, shoulder, and really lean the handle forward. You look at like a Tony Finau type thing, Dustin Johnson handle way forward, right? Now they've got enough speed to support it, but I can take this 8-iron and do that and hit it like 165, 170, even with a shorter swing. So compressing your irons, it's all about raising the ball speed relative to your club head speed. You do that just like the sandwich and 7-iron example. You do that through lowering your loft. So you take your club and you lower it. Why would you want to do that? Because we all want to hit our clubs farther. Because that means all your longer clubs will also go farther, okay? Shorter clubs in the holes. How do you do it? You need to manually learn to get your arms, hands, and club working correctly. Isn't there supposed to be more body motion? The body motion is important, okay? This is where if I were you and I wasn't sure on that, I would take advantage of this 14-day free trial because you can send me your videos and I can say, oh, you know what? You're right. You need more turn and tilt to go with it. You're not shifting enough forward. Your setup is off. You have a grip issue. There's a slew of things that I could identify literally in a couple of seconds that could completely transform your game, but I have to see your video to do that. So now all the way through Sunday, but why wait till then? Sunday, Master Sunday. Just do it now. Sign up, do the 14-day free trial. If you like it, awesome, stay with us. If not, no big deal. You'll still know for sure exactly what you need to work on. Okay, so we're gonna put a card on the screen, CogornoGolf.com. We'll put a card on the screen, similar style compression video. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. And while you're on here, you might as well click that thumbs up button because that really helps us as well. Thank you guys for watching.